Okay. Hey everybody. Welcome to Curiosity 777. Today's topic is going to be the Amityville horror. We're going to discuss a few things to see if do you think this story was true or do you think it's completely fiction? Apparently the stories are true and it involves Ed and Lorraine Warren. We'll get a little further in depth about who they are, but at first I'm going to play a little bit of an audio to get you better familiarized with it. Here we go. So forgive me for the background noise. One of my video editors isn't working right, but I'm going to go ahead and start the video. So here we go. Listen to the audio.
Welcome to World's Best Videos. We've compiled a list of facts about Ronald DeFeo Jr. Ronald Joseph DeFeo Jr., aka Butch, is an American mass murderer. Ronald was born on September 26, 1951 in Brooklyn, New York City. He was tried and convicted for the killings of his father, mother, 2 brothers, and 2 sisters on November 14, 1974. He is currently 65 years old and is held in the Sullivan Correctional Facility in the town of Fallsburg, New York. On Wednesday, November 13, 1974, around 6:30 p.m., then 23-year-old Ronald Jr. went to Henry's Bar in Amityville, Long Island, New York, and declared, "You've got to help me. I think my mother and father are shot." A small group of people went into 112 Ocean Avenue, which was located near the bar, and found that Ronald Jr.'s parents were indeed dead. One of the people in the groups was Ronald Jr.'s friend Joe Yeswit, who made an emergency call to the Suffolk County Police, who searched the home and found that all 6 members of the same family were dead in their beds. All of the victims had been shot around 3 o'clock in the morning of that day with the .35 caliber level action Marlin 336C rifle. According to Suffolk County Police, the victims were all found lying on their stomachs in bed. Both of the parents had been shot twice, while all the children had been killed with single shots. Physical evidence suggests that Louis DeFeo and her daughter Allison were both awake at the time of their death. The family had occupied 112 Ocean Avenue since purchasing it in 1965. The deceased were later buried in nearby St. Charles Cemetery in Farmingdale. Ronald Jr. was taken to the local police station for his own protection after suggesting to police officers at the scene of the crime that the killings had been carried out by a mob hitman, Louis Fellaini. The alleged hitman had an alibi proving Fellaini was out of state at the time of the killings. However, an interview at the station later exposed serious conflicts in his version of events. On the next day, he confessed to carrying out the killings himself. He had taken a bath and redressed, telling details where he had discarded crucial evidence like blood-stained clothes and the Marlin rifle and cartridges before arriving to work as usual. Ronald Jr.'s trial began on October 14th of 1975. He and his lawyer William Weber mounted to an affirmative defense of insanity, claiming that he killed his family in self-defense because he heard their voices plotting against him. DeFeo's psychiatrist, Dr. Daniel Schwartz, supported the insanity plea for defense, and the psychiatrist for prosecution, Dr. Harold Zolan, presented that although Ronald Jr. was an abuser of heroin and LSD, he had an antisocial personality disorder and was aware of his actions at the time of the crime. DeFeo was found guilty on November 21st, 1975 on 6 counts of second-degree murder. Later on December 4th, 1975, he was sentenced to 6 concurrent life sentences of 25 years. All of his requests to the parole board have been denied. DeFeo has an unstable relationship with his father, but the motive for the killings remains unclear. Well, that concludes.
Okay, so you heard the story that Robert DeFeo killed his family, all 6 of them. And next we're going to look a little bit into why. In this piece that I just played, the gentleman said it was carried out by a hitman, but obviously that wasn't true. He wasn't in town. There's so many different stories behind what exactly caused him to react and cause such a tragedy. So we're going to look at a few of them, and I'm going to show some pictures of the family as well. Alright, so it's pretty clear that Robert DeFeo either had a mental issue, paranormal, or somebody told him this, maybe he was going to be paid. I honestly have watched all the movies. I mean, because after he killed his family, there were so many different families that moved in. Actually, not that many, but I should say 3 or 4 that actually complained of paranormal activity, which is something that Robert DeFeo himself had said led him to kill his own family that night. However, there's different theories on whether or not this whole story is even a hoax, so we have to think about several things. I don't know about you, but I do believe in the paranormal, and I do believe that it could have definitely been something paranormal. I mean, the devil exists, and he basically speaks to us in otherworldly ways that we can't control, especially if we are not protected by the Lord, or, some people just don't believe in them. Believe me, I don't have anything against anybody's religions. I'm just saying what could have possibly happened. Another thing that was pretty strange was he seemed like, from the movies, he seemed like he was in a possessed state of mind. Of course, none of us were there. They are going off of the stories they were told and what they think it would have been like. In the first movie, it's kind of strange because whenever he's going through killing his family, he's actually like standing there and his eyes are jet black, as if he has a demon in him. So that would be my first thought of why I would go towards possession. And I also found it strange that though the movie talks about possession, there's a lot of backlash from that. The families always had issues, like people and their neighbors saying, we don't even think the house was haunted, they were just crazy. It was like a really tragic, scary thing. I don't want to talk bad about them because, I never know what's going on. I don't know other people's lives. But it makes you wonder, is this even true? Because there's a family that moved in after them, and they were called the Lutz family. And this is where Ed and Lorraine Warren came in. I'm going to read you the bio of Ed and Lorraine Warren. So let me get that ready. Okay, so Edward Warren Miney was born September 7th, 1926, and died August 23rd, 2006. His wife, Lorraine Rita Warren, or maiden name Morin, was born January 31st, 1927. She is currently still living. They were both raised as Roman Catholics, and they were considered highly controversial American paranormal investigators. They have done so many investigations, and they're included in so many movies that we see nowadays. You would be surprised. So, in 1952, the Warrens founded the New England Society for Psychic Research, the oldest ghost hunting group in New England. They authored numerous books about the paranormal and about their private investigations into various reports of paranormal activity. They claim to have investigated over 10,000 cases during their career. The Warrens were among the very first investigators in the controversial Amityville haunting, which is what we were talking about right now. According to the Warrens, the NESPR utilizes a variety of individuals, including medical doctors, researchers, police officers, college students, and members of clergy in investigations. Stories of ghost hauntings popularized by the Warrens have been adapted as, or have indirectly inspired dozens of films, television series, and documentaries, including 17 films in the Amityville series alone. Other adaptations include the 2013 movie The Conjuring, its prequel, spin-off, from 2014, Annabelle, and its sequel, and The Conjuring 2, released in 2016. So basically, Ed and Lorraine Warren were paranormal investigators. They were almost like a I don't want to say freak of nature, but they had this special ability where they worked together and they were strong against paranormal evil. They were even known to do a few exorcisms, including in The Conjuring, and they did try to exorcise in the Amityville haunting, but I don't believe it was successful because of the families that moved in prior to the situations still had the same issues, or so they say. A lot of people don't believe them. They think that it's a hoax, saying, oh, people moved in there and they just wanted money and to become famous because they had moved into the DeFeo home. So this concludes for part 1. Yes, I know, I kept calling him Robert DeFeo, and it's Ronald DeFeo Jr. Like and subscribe. Please try not to do any negative comments because I'm new at this, but I hope you liked most of it. Got a little more information than you knew before. So I'm going to do part 2 regardless what anybody thinks. Going to keep this page going. There will be other horror stories and weird shit that happens. So yeah, like and subscribe, and I really appreciate it. Have a great night, guys.